welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today for True Crime, Crazy Crimes in Cambodia. Indeed, I have a few for you today. I see Mumsy is in the house. Welcome, welcome. And so shall we just get started? People will just have to catch replay. Don't want to make the replay people wait for the stories. There's nothing new to chat about. So yeah, we'll just get started. You snooze, you lose. So here we go. We are starting with a follow-up story of the pilfering police. I don't know if you remember this. There was a raid that was done and a bunch of computers and equipment were confiscated, and then they disappeared. And and so whoever, someone higher up, a different agency or whatever, was like looking into this. Well, they busted the police. So, oops, here we go. Here's the equipment that the police officers took from the raid and then disappeared. And so the National Police Commissioner is the one that is coming out and saying that this group of police officers will be held accountable and disciplined. So good. This is a bad example for the National Police Force. That should not happen. I'm glad you think so. Anyway, yeah, they're making a detailed report and everything about it. But good. So next we are going to move on to some shots were fired as police arrested a man suspected of kidnapping a foreign woman in Phnom Penh. Now, I almost didn't even want to bother with this or the next one because it seems to be happening a lot. General tourists don't need to worry about this kind of crime. Okay. The story goes on to say that it was a Cambodian man, I believe, in the car. Let me check. 8:30 p.m. Police chased a black car that didn't have a license plate. Yeah, driven by a Cambodian man who is suspected of kidnapping a Chinese woman. The car hit a barbecue cart on the way. I mean, as it was fleeing. Gunshots were exchanged, and they rescued. This looks like it might be the woman that they rescued. I don't think that's the driver. I think that's the woman being rescued. They have confirmed that it's suspected to be a kidnapping, but no further details have been released. So let's move on to the next story, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what's going on. Okay. Yeah, about time. That's right, Mom. The police are doing their job. Okay, so these four guys were arrested for transporting a human trafficking victim. A foreign man, which is a Chinese man, on the Phnom Penh Sihanoukville Expressway. That's the only freeway we have in Cambodia right now, from between Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville. So it was in a van, this Toyota Alphard. I don't know if you guys see those in the US much, but they're very popular here. Driven by a group of Cambodians, were illegally transporting a Chinese man. Okay, and so there's not a lot more details, but what we know, because this kind of thing has happened before, there's quite an operation going on, kidnapping Chinese citizens who come into they fly into Phnom Penh, they're picked up by a vehicle, and they're kidnapped, usually for extortion. This is not a good trend. Unless you're a Chinese tourist planning to come or for whatever reason you're coming, I mean, if it seems to only happen to Chinese people. So let me give you a little bit of background. Sihanoukville was just a fishing village for a long time. Most Cambodians still call it Kampong Som. That was the Cambodian name before it became known as Sihanoukville, which of course is named, the city of King Sihanouk, right? Or Prince Sihanouk at the time. It was known as a good beach getaway. The Independence Hotel is there. It was basically the only deep port for shipping. Okay. Kampot is trying to build a second deep port in Kampot. And then Kep is also, there's been ideas talking about it, trying to build one there as well. But with all the surveys that were done at the time, and at the time I'm talking the 60s, okay, when King Sihanouk abdicated the throne, became Prince Sihanouk, and he really made it a mission of making Cambodia the most modern country in Asia. The Independence Hotel down in Sihanoukville is where Jackie Kennedy stayed when she came to visit, as well as other dignitaries and celebrities. So it had a reputation, and that's when they changed it to Sihanoukville. But local Cambodians still called it Kampong Som, and a lot still do today. And then about 10 or 15 years ago, a lot of Chinese investment came and started building casinos and skyscrapers and completely changed Sihanoukville. There was actually a lot of Russian activity there as well. I mean, prior to the Chinese moving in, there was a lot of Russian criminal gang activity. I remember those news stories. But now it seems to all be about the Chinese. They do have a lot of those call centers down there. I think they started down there in Sihanoukville. Now they've kind of spread throughout the country. There's some in Phnom Penh. There's some in Poi Pet. There's some in Bavet. And so, yeah, it's not, Sihanoukville isn't what it used to be. So a lot of their investment actually, like when COVID hit, so in 2019, dried up. Everything just stopped. And so there were a lot of skyscrapers that were just left under construction. So it's not the sleepy little town that it used to be. There's been some development of the beaches, but not like, let's say, Kep. Kep has had a lot of development of the beaches there. You can also go to the islands for beaches if that's what you want. Kampot is actually on a river, not actually, I mean, it's called a coastal town. The river is so close to the ocean that it's actually tidal. So the water level raises up and down with the tides. But technically it's on a river. Yeah. So Tammy is going to be going down to Sihanoukville. So I'm really excited to hear her impressions of somebody who's new to Cambodia, maybe doesn't know a lot of this history. So that'll be, fresh eyes, see where it is right now. But yeah, this crime is a trend right now in Cambodia. It's not good. Criminals. Hey, Gibbo is in the house. Welcome, Gibbo. Okay, so let's move on. Enough talking about that. So there were some foreign scammers arrested for duping Siem Reap tourists with bogus herbal remedies. So I also wanted to point that out. They look maybe Indian or Pakistani. I don't know if it tells us Pakistani. So they were selling something called Thai natural herbs at a medicine shop in Siem Reap, and looks some stuff like there's some queen bee honey. This looks like just looks like pepper. Thai Natural Herbs is the name of their shop. Has a lot of before and after pictures. They wanted between $60 and $450 for their products, but they were just ordinary herbs that they bought from the market in Siem Reap. So I guess there's nothing wrong with selling the herbs and selling ordinary herbs, but their markup is a little too much. So they were busted. So you got to be watch out for the products that you buy. Make sure you get what you pay for, because there is a lot of counterfeiting and scams. And the next story is also counterfeiting. There's this brand called Top Chef, which was, I guess, a soup powder. And here's all these boxes of it. It's just a seasoning. I think it's supposed to be more like a bouillon. So the owner of the factory imported unbranded soup powder from China and then secretly packaged them under his Chef 55 brand using the quality mark, barcode, and manufacturing address in Thailand, and then sold them in almost all markets in Cambodia, misleading consumers as Thai products. 30 tons. This is their operation that got busted. So again, you have to be careful. And while there's not a story this week about medicines, there are counterfeit medicines too, which can be very dangerous. Okay, so now into the crazy crimes. 3 arrested after a disturbance at a Phnom Penh restaurant. So it looks like here's a security video. These are the 3 guys that got arrested. They had a brawl. Let's see, in Tulkork. But they don't give us really any details what they were fighting about or anything. Oh, gosh darn. I thought it would be a more exciting story, but no deets. Come on, we need deets. Okay, so we'll move on to a man accused of the M word after cutting off his sister-in-law's leg with a sword. And he's just a farmer, this humble farmer guy. I guess, so when he cut off her leg, I guess that she bled to death. It says here a machete as opposed to a sword. But anyway, I guess his wife was having an affair and his sister-in-law didn't tell him that she was cheating. So he got mad at the sister-in-law and attacked her. 11:30 a.m. So the sister-in-law was 45 years old and a nail stylist in the village. And so the suspect, he was married to her 38-year-old sister. The suspect often traveled away from home to work, so he told his wife to stay with the older sister. But 3 days before he attacked, he returned home and had a fight with his wife after finding out she was having an affair. So he beat the wife, who then fled to live with her lover. Enraged, he went back into the house, which was her sister, and the sister admitted that she knew about it and had kept it hidden from him, which led to a fight between them. And so then he took the machete and attacked her. Now, the victim did try to escape, but he chased her and slashed her many times, it says, causing her left leg to be severed, and she died at the scene due to the injuries. So he faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted. I think he will be. Hey, Gibbo saying, hit the like, hit the share, subscribe. Absolutely. And then moving from machetes to axes in Kampot. We were just talking about Kampot. This guy was arrested for brutally attacking somebody with an axe. 4-day cross-province manhunt. He was caught in Kampot, but it also the attack also happened in Kampot. Here's all the guys. They're not in uniforms, so I don't know if they're just vigilantes like a posse or if they're actually just wearing plain clothes. But they're actually some form of law enforcement. This guy's got his GUN. And then they're taking him away, taking him to the police. Let's see. So the suspect is 41 years old, and he attacked a 52-year-old man from the same village. He confessed that he indeed attacked him. He said the reason was that before the incident, they were arguing, and then the victim attacked him. And so he was like defending himself, apparently. And that's his story, and he's sticking to it. This is as they captured him. So there's that. Next up. So four children, I think, or 3 children died, and I guess on social media and stuff, the villagers, they were saying that the children were poisoned, but the head of the commune, meaning the city or the town that they're from, is disputing that they were poisoned. So yeah, social media, okay, was going wild that the parents were having financial issues and unable to support 4 children. And so they poisoned them so that they wouldn't have to take care of them anymore. And they're saying, no, this is so the government is coming out and saying, authorities are saying, this is false, this is misleading, this is fake, that's not what happened. But there were 4 people drowned, and it was an elderly man and 3 young girls that went out to set their fishing nets, and a storm caused their boat to sink. And that's why they died. So combating fake news, making sure to set the record straight. Still tragic that they died in this fishing accident and that they drowned, but they were not poisoned by their parents. Okay, moto jackers hit a couple in Phnom Penh. So I guess they're supposed to be showing their injuries. I'm not really seeing a lot of injuries there, but what caught my attention is that it's being said that it's a professional motojacking gang. Okay, happened at 12:40 a.m. This is why I don't like to be out on the roads late at night, especially on my motorcycle alone. So if I have an event to go to in the evening, either I get home early or I book a taxi. I guess this is where it happened. So how does this go down? The husband had taken his wife to buy some rice cakes. I guess they got the munchies in the middle of the night. And while they were waiting for the rice cakes to be packed, the 4 suspects riding 2 motorcycles. Now, this is common. So you get one motorcycle with the driver and someone sitting behind. And then you got a second motorcycle the same way. You got the driver and the person behind. They stopped near the couple, shouting at them, brandished a knife, chased the people away, and then stole their motorcycle, and then jumped on the motorcycle. Another thing they will do is you could actually be riding your motorcycle on the street, and they'll both come up and sandwich you, so that you have to stop. And then one of the people on the back will force you off your motorcycle and ride away on your motorcycle. So this is a thing that happens. Do normal tourists need to worry about this? No. Do normal expats need to worry about this? No. I mean, if you're not out there on the streets after midnight, you're not going to encounter this kind of thing. But it's an important warning to know that this does happen. So you can take precautions. Okay, so next up, sugar rush. A truck carrying 10 tons of sugar split in 2. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Here's all these bags of sugar. It was spilling the sugar into the canal. That's a waste. So they were able to salvage some of it. How did it split in 2? They encountered a traffic accident. Nearby villagers at the time of the incident heard a loud crash, which woke up the villagers in the middle of the night. They rushed to the scene, thinking that it was the sound of artillery fire. This happened in Banteay Meanchey province. So they came to look on the road, and they saw the truck lying upside down with the sugar cane spilled all over the place. The front of the truck overturned about 50 meters from the rear, which was lying in the ditch. They allowed the owner of the truck to handle it himself and remove the truck and the sugar from the scene. So don't know what caused the accident, but there you go. They thought it was ladyboys attacking. Yeah, they might have. Okay. So some more vehicle ones. I thought this picture was amazing. I guess this white car was in reverse. Hey, I think that's the Central Hospital. Right. It is that's Central Hospital where my friend works and where I went when I had the upper respiratory issue. So this is right near Central Market then. Let's see, it happened at 8 a.m. Look at that. Talk about crazy crimes. What the heck? According to residents, the driver of the white car lost the control of his vehicles and engaged the reverse gear by mistake. He then accelerated backwards at a high speed and mounting the Kia car, causing it to overturn. After the incident, both parties reached a compromise, with the Lexus party paying compensation to the Kia party to end the matter. You didn't have to compensate the homeowners. They didn't have any damage here. I mean, this is kind of a busy street, and they're lucky that nobody got injured. I guess this car that got turned over was just parked there. See, look there's damage here to this. You should have to pay the homeowner for that, for the plant. But anyway, we've seen it before. It doesn't turn into a big legal battle and insurance and all that. You just pay compensation and it's done. Then we have a drunk foreign driver crashing into multiple vehicles in Phnom Penh. And I just wanted to touch on this one because, I mean, look at the tuk-tuk. I know there's people that love riding in tuk-tuks, and I just can't say it enough. I do not trust a tuk-tuk driver that I don't know. All right? If you know your tuk-tuk driver and you know they're a safe driver, then fine. But I mean, so many tuk-tuk drivers just go out in the street in the middle of traffic or try to turn, do U-turns and do things that put themselves and their customers at risk. And it's not worth it. So this happened close to midnight in Phnom Penh. There's just one. He knocked over all these motorcycles too. Knocked over the motorcycles, hit the tuk-tuk. It looks like it was this car that did the damage. So before the incident, a Chinese man was seen driving the black Toyota. He swerved, hit 7 motorcycles and the tuk-tuk that was just parked. So this tuk-tuk was just parked there. The driver was intoxicated and detained by local authorities. And then after the incident, if it cannot be resolved immediately, all vehicles, including the driver, were detained, awaiting the resolution. Oh, that's a bummer. You park your motorcycle, you go in to eat, and now your motorcycle is impounded. And how are you going to get to school or work or whatever while it's impounded? Because they have to have proof for the suspect, for the other driver, that, okay, look, these are the motorcycles that were damaged. Here's the damage. Yeah, that's no fun. But yeah, be careful. Be careful when using apps for tuk-tuks. I use apps for a car taxi. You guys know that I've had friends that have died in tuk-tuks. So next up, this one's kind of funny. Yeah, know your tuk-tuk. Got it. Know your driver. So this guy here, he's known as Van Da. He is a Cambodian rapper. He's got some pretty much international following. Okay, he's gotten big, and he was a brand ambassador for Coca-Cola. Well, I don't know exactly what he said or did, but Coca-Cola apparently terminated their sponsorship. And so then everybody was getting angry at Coca-Cola. I mean, and this happened like instantly, within hours, right? And so the former Prime Minister Hun Sen right here, that's why it says president of the Cambodian Senate, they're talking about Hun Sen, made a public appeal to people that, hey, while Coca-Cola, yes, is an international brand, but the manufacturing plant is in Cambodia and employs Cambodians. So if you start to boycott Coca-Cola, then or like riot about Coca-Cola, right? Maybe you go into the stores and like trash all the Coca-Cola cans or something. If you take action against Coca-Cola, you're actually hurting other Cambodians and the business. So he called for calm, and I think it worked. I haven't heard anything else after. So I thought that was interesting. So then we had a train derailment of an oil train. So there's 2 stories. There's this one, 11 a.m. in Battambang province. It was heading from Phnom Penh to Battambang, and it So within the Battambang province, it says it occurred due to a slippery track, causing 4 trucks to fall. Thankfully, no one was injured. Okay. And so there was emergency assistance immediately at the scene. Royal Company is who owns the trains. And so they sent 2 excavators and other tankers, like empty tankers, to pump out the oil into the new tankers. They had to prohibit the residents from accessing the oil. Any opportunity, man, any opportunity, the villagers are going to take it. So here's some pictures of the incident. Here they are pumping out, into the new tankers. There's some major cranes needed to get that removed. Wow. Yeah, that's a mess. I mean, not good. And so subsequent to that, you shouldn't cook oils. You shouldn't cook with oils. Animal fats are much healthier. I agree. Now, I don't know what they would use the oil for, but anything that they can make use of, they'll get it. So subsequent to that, a few days later, the Ministry of Environment has been responding to the oil spill. Here they're inspecting some of the water. So there was some spillage. 70,000 liters were spilled. And so they've collected, it says local residents, they did get their hand on 10,000 liters. It says oil. Now they're saying diesel, that it was diesel. All right. Which diesel fuel comes from oil, right? So the initial report said oil, but they're not talking about the black sludge kind of oil. It had been processed into diesel. Some of it leaked into storm drains. They have installed oil catching barriers to prevent the sewer system. And the sewer systems usually just like go into a river. There's not like a processing plant. And they're using mechanical equipment to remove oil. They're trying to educate the residents about proper waste disposal and the risks of spilled oil. So yeah, I'm glad the Ministry of Environment is involved in this, because, that can affect wildlife as well. So I'm glad they're on it. Let's see, Gibbo, I'm trying. We've got a little bit of intermission with baby Wilbur here. So think of all the time tuk-tuks you could run. You could start an empire. Exactly, 10,000 liters. So this is kind of sad, except that I think the baby is okay. Phnom Penh authorities are seeking the parents of an abandoned infant that was found under, now this is British flyover. It's an overpass. Okay. And here's a picture of the baby that as they rescued it. There's a baby girl. It was actually abandoned in late June, but now they are putting the word out. They said the baby is supposed to be about 3 months old. It's currently in temporary care of the Department of Social Affairs. And so they're trying to find the parents or relatives to come forward and reclaim her. So, I mean, and within 5 months of the date of this public announcement, if no authorities, if If no one comes forward, they will find relevant institutions like an orphanage or something to arrange a permanent care plan. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's been 3 months. If someone had kidnapped the baby, if someone fell asleep or was drunk and misplaced the baby, or so, you would think that they would be going to the police and reporting their baby missing, right? The fact that they haven't come to claim, it sounds like they left the baby there, hoping that somebody else would find the baby and adopt it, basically. I don't know that I would want that family to reclaim the baby. I mean, maybe if it was like an aunt or an uncle or something that was not involved in that and didn't realize it, and now they realize, oh my gosh, you told us your baby died, but you left it there, that and they want to adopt their relative. Okay, that I could see. If they had no participation in the abandonment. But so there's that. There was a truck that was busted for smuggling goods from Thailand because the imports from Thailand are still banned. This van was coming through Laos with the Thai goods. Yeah. There's some pictures. Oh, it was a little convoy they had going on of 4 vans full of goods. Well, they're trying to seize an opportunity, but if that opportunity is illegal, maybe you better use your creative business sense to do something legal. Yeah, baby. Okay, so this one, this guy was a tycoon. They call them oknyas here in Cambodia, but basically a tycoon. He got stripped of his, it's an official title. So he got stripped of his title. And after the double M attack, he'd been arrested. He'd been convicted. He appealed. It finally went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they have upheld the conviction. And the victim is saying, finally, we have received justice. So I just wanted to point out that while there's thought to be a lot of corruption, and of course there's some corruption, but like the U.S. doesn't have corruption, come on. You guys see it in the news all the time. And yeah, this guy was not above the law. He was caught, and he faced his consequences. So that's good. There is justice in Cambodia. Then we get the Office of Anti-Human Trafficking and Juvenile Protection cracked down on a brothel and rescued teenagers. So it's just like a warehouse kind of place where they set up some walls. Inside would be just a bed, and a sordid, not just any brothel, a sordid brothel that offered minors to its depraved clients. Around 2 p.m., they did the raid. And I guess this is maybe a client, and this is maybe one of the girls. Some various products. It was at a restaurant in Kampong Thom province. So the front of the building had a restaurant, and then in the back you had all this going on. They rescued 5 victims, including 3 female minors. Excuse me. They arrested 2 suspects the female who was the owner of the location, and this guy. So this is the 5 that they rescued. So good that they rescued them. Okay, now I've got 2 stories on this. I actually got a story from the Phnom Penh Post as well on this one. A lotion tycoon was jailed for incitement and demoralizing the army. So she had quite an empire, a beauty care empire going on. Her name is Cheng Sre Rot. Thai creams, they mention. And so she's in prison now. So they raided her house. And basically she sells these lotions online. Okay. In Tok Mao City, that's just to the south of Phnom Penh. 2 counts of incitement to discriminate and demoralization of the army. She faces a prison term of 2 to 5 years if convicted. She calls herself daughter of the Dragon King. And the posts were on August 6th and 13th. She says in her post, she said that because of her, the king dragons, who are her parents, went to protect the land and fought first with the Thai army, which led the Cambodian army to defeat the Thai army. And she saw them. She claimed that her spirit entered the Cambodian soldiers, enabling them to defeat the Thai army. On the 13th, when Cambodia banned the import of Thai fruits, she wrote on Facebook that she would continue to import and sell Thai lotions in Cambodia because people had the right to decide for themselves whether they would buy them. Now, when we get to the Phnom Penh story, Phnom Penh Post story, here it's that her husband suggested that her confusion might be caused by the excessive chemical levels in the lotion she used. And he asked the court to forgive his wife, who has young children to care for. Yeah. Well, I don't know if she's on the right charges or not. But if we come over here, close that, to the Phnom Penh Post story, here she's appearing to be faint as she was taken to prison. All right. And it says that 4 products, and she's also known online as Love Ria. All right. But 4 of her products are shown to contain unsafe levels of mercury and cadmium. She's 40 years old. So I guess when they raided her, then they did the laboratory tests, and they discovered this. So, yeah, and I know of cases where, like, there was one case where a bride, the night before her wedding, smothered herself with whitening cream, which was mercury, and she died from mercury poisoning before she could get married, the night before her wedding. I mean, the mercury. So basically, Cambodians are obsessed with having white skin, and they want to use whitener, lotions with whitening agents, in them. But what makes your skin whiter is the mercury actually kind of dissolves your skin. So, dissolves the top layer of the skin or something. It's horrible. Anyway, so that alone she should have charges for that. Anyway, there's that. And some good news. A kind-hearted tycoon sent his high-speed boat to rescue a woman from a Cambodian island. This isn't the first time he's done it. When somebody is on an island and needs medical emergency assistance, he's got a speedboat. So Oknia Tia Vichet, I believe, is the son of the former Minister of Defense, Tia Ban. Anyway, she was taken to Preah Sihanouk Provincial Hospital. Looks like something with her leg. Does it say? Serious leg injury. There's the speedboat. So, Good Samaritans in Cambodia. Also, this is, we're talking about crazy crimes. This is just like a crazy news story. This is a petrified tree. First time a petrified tree has been found in Cambodia. They say it's between 100,000 and 2 million years old. They're calling it a fossilized tree. They're planning on turning the site into a tourist attraction to benefit the indigenous community. It's believed to be 30 meters long, more than half of which has been excavated. So that's quite. It does say that there have been 12 fossil sites identified, but usually it's a marine life like snails and corals and other species. I think this is the first tree. So it's quite big, and this is 3/4, I guess, or just more than half of the tree. And there's dog. 2 more stories, and we'll wrap it up. Also, good news. This is a whole story about this person, 37 years old, from Mondulkiri. Was a hunter and was hunting the wildlife, and now he's become involved in conservation and being called a wildlife guardian now, and it just talks a little bit about him and how he decided to change to become an advocate for wildlife instead of hunting them. So that's good. That's good. We need more. We need more people like him. Oh, that's it. That's it. We're done. Oh, there's one. Why did I not? The U.S. is full of corruption. Not like here in Britain. We don't even know what that is. And that's called sarcasm. Sorry, that's in my Streamlab, but that comment didn't show up on my phone. That I was looking for comments. So that's our crazy crimes for this week. I hope you enjoyed learning something, maybe, or at least being entertained. If you don't feel like you learned anything new, then maybe you were at least entertained. So I really do appreciate so much that you've been spending some time with me, and I want to make sure that you know that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're watching this, I love you. I do. Well, Mumsy finds it interesting. Okay. And I do want to share a little message. In case you don't know about it, I have an interview coming up in 2 days. Now, I've already done the interview, but the video of the interview will be premiering in 2 days. With Tammy of I Don't Know Where I'm Going Next. on August 20. For me, it's Saturday, October. I'm sorry. On let me show. This is her channel, and this is what it looks like. So for me, it's on Saturday morning. If you're in the US, it might be Friday night. If you're in the UK, I'm not sure what that might not be a good time for you, but you can certainly watch the replay. Turn on the notification so at least you know that it's happening. So just want to point that out to you. I'm sure it is going to be very good. I mean, it was fun. It was so fun to do the interview. So I'm sure the video is going to be great. Yeah. Let's see what's happening. What's happening in the chat? I see. Oh, hugs. A hugs emoji from Mumsy. Good, good, good. So tomorrow night is general trivia. It is an original trivia game made by me, Jeopardy style. Oh, one big pond. Your light brings a tone worthy for connection. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll have fun. A lot of the categories are Gen X, and it's already prepared, ready to play. So I hope you come and join me, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow for that. And then we'll have the weekend, of course, crosswords on Sunday. But okay, so until then, I'll catch you later.